I know it's in here somewhere. Oh, hey, I'm Phil Parkinson, and welcome to Clubbed. Clubbed is a show where we go around and interview different student organizations to find out what kind of fun and interesting things they're doing outside of class. Remember the days when we were kids and we used to run around our house with our plastic sword and wooden shield and pretend to fight dragons and monsters and things? Well, there's an organization that took this to a whole new level. The Dagorhir Club is a club founded in 1977 that has different chapters that range from coast to coast, and they fight and compete against each other. We're lucky enough to have one of these chapters at Oakland University claiming OU as its territory. Now, the Dagorhir Club was founded and based largely in part by J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings series, and the word Dagorhir itself actually translates in Elven dialogue into battle lords. In Dagorhir, you assume the role of a medieval warrior, and you fight others in hand-to-hand combat. Oh, here it is. Well, we're going to take a short commercial break, but when we come back, we'll take an inside look at the Dagorhir Club, and I'll throw myself in the mix to see if I can hold my own.
When you mentor a child, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be yourself, which, by the way, is pretty good. Do good. Mentor a child. Call 1-877-BE-A Mentor.
Broadcasting from Rochester, Michigan, you're watching OUTV. Think success, think Oakland University.
So I wrote this song for Becky. Can I sing it to you, test it out? It's for 1 year anniversary.
Yeah, sure. Let's hear it, man.
Though we've only been together for a year of my life, I want to ask you, will you be my wife? No, it's not what it looks like.
We all make mistakes. Make this one. Dosser.
If anything, he'd be my wife.
Oh, hey, mister, studied algebra in school and got a better job than I could. You take the last couple.
Oh, no, mister. Stuck in an entry-level job because you only learned basic math. I don't have a boss riding my butt like you do, so you take it so you can get back to your desk.
You know, I probably should, but maybe Miss AP Calculus with the $200 haircut in the big office upstairs would like a cup.
Oh, no, mister. What was your name again? Never mind, it doesn't matter. I'm too busy doing important things to care. I just came down for some sweet and start.
You know, if my limited math abilities weren't keeping me from getting a better job, I'd quit this afternoon.
I don't blame you. But thank goodness you're stuck here because we really need someone to make the coffee.
Soldiers, prepare for battle.
Basically, the way I can explain Dagorhir is it's a medieval, I don't like to say reenactment, but the way I often compare it is I say it's like paintball with swords. Dagorhir is whatever you want to make it. Dagorhir can be about getting out and fighting, and it can be all about just the combat aspect, or Dagorhir can be about your creativeness. And you can get out and you can make your garb, like the stuff I'm wearing. I've made all this stuff. Or it can be about like the weapons that you've made, or it can be about the armor you can do. Dagorhir can be about whatever you want. If somebody asks, "Are you good at Dagorhir?" the answer's vague because you didn't actually ask like, "Are you a good fighter in Dagorhir?" or "Are you a good foamsmith Dagorhir?" Dagorhir is so many things, and it has, in my opinion, it has like something for everybody.
Well, Dagorhir itself is national. The group that practices up here, we're part of a group called Arendor, which contains Michigan and Northern Ohio. But in this group, there's also a bunch of smaller groups like the Imperial Guard, Legacy of the Life Tree, which are groups within Arendor that break up and make their own rules and their own ranking systems.
It goes by chapter. Within Arendor, we have a couple of tiers of rankings. When you first start out, we consider you new, meaning you're new to it, you don't know how to fight, we teach you the ropes, and then after 3 practices, you'll be considered recruit, which means you can start picking up other weapon combos, we know you're safe, you know the rules, and at that point, you can get garbed up, use your own weapons, and we can do something called the Fighter's Test to rank up to the next one called Fighter. When you get Fighter, you get a nifty little leather pelt with your name on it. And after Fighter, we have Hunter, which is even harder combat test. We only have 5 Hunters within Arendor as a whole. And after Hunter, we have something called the Hero rank. No one has made Hero yet.
You can build your own equipment. That's what 90% of people do. There you can go on websites and find tutorials on how to build every kind of weapon you could ever think of, or you could search on the web and buy equipment. At a lot of the events we have, which we have usually about 12, 15 events a year, you can usually buy equipment at events too.
Well, it can hurt sometimes. We do check the weapons beforehand and make sure that they're safe. But obviously, if you get hit in the head on accident, that hurts. That's why we try to not hit people in the head. It's the rule. And also, there are some people that hit hard. But, you know, it's nothing major. It might sting for like a second or something. It doesn't really hurt.
Take a pillow, hit yourself with it. It feels about the same, just a little bit more firm. I've taken shots from guys that are 4 times my size at full baseball swing. And it stunts you back a little bit, but it doesn't hurt. You get used to it.
There are a lot of DAG events throughout the year. There are some day events. They're just held on a Saturday. We fight for the day. And there's also campouts where we go out for the weekend. We fight, we camp, and then we fight the next day.
There's only a couple campouts a year. There's usually only about 3 or 4 campouts a year. Ragnarok and then the one coming up this weekend called Baden Hill. Those are the 2 main ones. And there's a lot of really good fighting and a lot of really good, just good times.
Ragnarok basically is the main event for Dagorhir. Behind me you can see a basic practice going on with about 30 plus people, which is actually a pretty good practice. And then we'll have events, which events have about 100 to 200 people. But then Ragnarok is the Norse word for end of the world, like Armageddon. But Ragnarok is the main event, and last year we had, I think, 1,800 people there at Ragnarok, and the fighting got up to about 850 people on the field fighting. It's a week-long camp out. It's so much fun. Basically, everybody just gets together and fights all day and hangs out all night, and it's a really good time, and it's just like the nicest people you've ever met, and then you get to slay each other all day long.
All right, now that we know a little more about the Dagorhir Club, I'm here with Farion, and he's going to tell us some of the rules and how to fight. So Farion, what's the first thing I need to know?
All right, well, the first thing you need to do is let's get you some equipment. There's a sword for you and a shield that you can use. And if you're going to want to learn how to fight, you got to first know the basic rules. So the first thing you need to know is how to take damage when you're hit. Because basically the idea, right, obviously, is to hit the other guy. So the way it's going to work is your body is going to be broken off into 5 zones. So zone 1, we'll say zone 1 is your torso, which is basically anything that covers is covered by a woman's one-piece bathing suit. So your shoulders up here, your chest, your back, your butt, and your crotch, whatever is in a woman's one-piece bathing suit. That's zone 1. Then we'll say zone 2 is this arm, zone 3, zone 4, and zone 5.
All right.
Okay, so that's how you separate. Okay.
So if I'm fighting you, and I come over and I hit your arm here, you gotta imagine that arm was chopped off or rendered useless. It was hit. So whatever's in that arm, you gotta kind of pretend that it was chopped off, and you just gotta just drop whatever's in there, and you gotta put it behind your back to just kind of signify that that's no longer there.
All right.
Okay. So if I'm fighting you and I come up and I chop your leg, it's as if your leg is now chopped off. So now you gotta go down to one knee, and you can still move around, but you just got to be on the one knee, just to say my leg was chopped off. Okay.
All right. So what if I'm hitting the head or the torso? Does that mean I'm out?
Well, if you're hitting the head and neck is not a legal target ever. It does happen sometimes on occasion. It's always an accident. It's not a legal target. So if I'm fighting you and I go doink and I bump in your head, I'll just go, I'm sorry, and you guys keep fighting. If it gets out of hand, sometimes we'll say, if you hit somebody in the head, you're dead. But the chest or the torso area, zone 1, that is an automatic death. So if we're fighting and your shield gets too low and I go boom and I catch you in the chest, you just pretend that your chest was just split open and your intestines are spewing out and you're now dead. Another way you can end up dying is if I'm fighting you and I come up and I take your arm and then I take your leg. That's 2 limbs. Or maybe I take this arm, then I kill this arm. That's 2 limbs also. 2 limbs is also death. Okay?
All right.
So that's just the basic of how to fight, sword and board.
Okay, so are we gonna get a fight rolling?
Yeah, let's get a quick little fight going in here. A couple more advanced things that you should know is you can block as long as your hand is holding a weapon, you can block all day. That's not an arm. But if your hand doesn't have a weapon in it and it gets hit, that's the arm. Does that make sense? So you can kind of use that to try to block.
All right.
As well. All right. So let's get a
ready to go?
Quick duel in.
Oh, okay. I'm out. That was a one hit KO there. All right. So what did I do wrong?
Well, one thing is you always got to keep what I noticed that time is you got to keep your eyes on your opponent. What you did that time was you threw your shield up and you blinded yourself, so you didn't really know. You were blocking my first shot, but you also didn't know where I was. So you want to keep your shield in front of you, but also kind of watch what your opponent is doing. So if what you did that time was you threw your shield, you didn't make the classic newbie mistake, which was swinging like this, which is swinging and opening yourself up. That's the classic newbie mistake. You just did I'm gonna block like this, and I don't know where my opponent is, and I just swung around it because you didn't see what I was doing.
Right. So should I typically want to keep my shield closer?
Yeah, I always like to keep my shield close to my body. And also another thing you want to do is, when you ever play baseball as a kid, your dad always taught you, when you're swinging a baseball, when you're swinging a bat, you always want to keep your bat in the ready position, right? So if you got your bat in the ready position, that way you can just swing. You don't have to, if your baseball bat's down here or on your shoulder, you have to pull it up and then swing. Well, the same thing goes in Dagorhir. You want to keep your sword at a ready position, because if your sword's here, you have to bring it up and then swing. Or if it's, it's like down here, you got to bring it up and swing. So 2 reasons. You want to keep it here because this is where all your swings are going to start, right? So if you got it here, you can just swing right there like that. And at the same time, as long as your sword is on your shoulder, you can use that to block your shoulder. So if you got your sword up here like this, put it up like this, and I'm trying to put your shield up too, and I'm trying to attack you, like you're actually using that also to block me from getting in. So you'll notice, 90% of all dag fighters, when they stand with their shield in front of them, their sword up like this, and they're just that way. They've got their shoulder blocked, and they got their shield here as well.
All right.
All right. Let's try it again.
Try it one more time. All right. Oh. Okay, I'm out. All right, thanks Farion for showing us the ropes. Now we're gonna see how I do in a real battle.
Heads up, and the spear you're gonna have to get low because he's gonna try to take your legs out.
Sent me!
Okay. Yeah, get that guy.
behind you!
Okay, that counts. All right, Farion, thanks for showing me around.
No problem.
It was a lot of fun. It was a good experience. And I hope to see you guys next time on Clubbed.
$20 points to the guy who hits me in the butt first.